There's a clear reasoning for why I'm recording this, bro. I'm going live for a while. I can't even move right now. I'm going live for a reason, though. But look at this. You see this right here, what they doing? Unnecessary, right? Did people allow this pool to get fucking green, like algae and Lyme disease was up in this fucking pool and jacuzzi? And now they cleaning it. And they giving this guy over here money that he would have never got if they wouldn't have allowed that motherfucker to get like that. So they really trying to help this guy make money, right? But anybody who manage some shit like that don't need to be managing it, bro. Like this is crazy. Look at this fence right here. Who does this? Like who does this? Like I don't care if a little kid did this to the gate. You need to have better requirements and better ways that you manage your building and make sure that kids don't do that. But why did you put this big ass piece of wood that clearly don't go there on this fucking gate? And if you didn't do it and the tenant didn't, why the fuck didn't your maintenance guy do it? Right? And they supposedly didn't have a maintenance guy for a long while. I used to be a porter and I've been a manager to an apartment and the maintenance. And I applied, and they the ones who asked me to apply, came outside and asked me to apply. They didn't hire me here, and they let this building be fucked up for months, right? And then they just hire who they want to hire, and these people do a bad job. The guy who used to be the maintenance here, this motherfucker did a horrible job when I moved in. I could go in here and show you shit that been fucked up since I moved in. They didn't really paint this shit. The dude fucked up everything that he was supposed to do. Look how trashy this place is. They don't have a porter in this big ass complex. They don't have a porter. And they got a Mexican lady that come around this fucking building sweeping up. That bitch only sweep this laundry room in the fucking office. But they probably giving her reduced rent. She don't come over here and clean this shit up off the ground and make it more visibly appealing for people. But maybe they feel like black people live on this side and the Mexican people live on that side, so they probably got that side clean. I'm gonna go over there and see, because I don't fucking go over there like that. But this is my thing. They paying this guy money he would have never got if they wouldn't have allowed this pool to get like that. And they taking money from people's fucking, making you pay rent, advertising that you have a pool and a jacuzzi that you can use to your advantage. COVID damn near over. Everything damn near open. And it's probably a gang of apartment complexes who pools and shit is open. It's probably supposed to be open. We could never know. We don't know when they sanctioned the pools and shit to be open. But my thing is this. This should have never been like this. This shit is depressing. Somebody come out their house and they see a motherfucking green jacuzzi and pool. This big ass pool, this shit used to be dark green and look disgusting. And kids still would want to try to get in the pool because they want to have fun and utilize it. The parents had to get real strict on these kids so they did not get in that fucking pool, man. This shit is ridiculous. Look at this shit right here, been hanging off of this fucking building since I've been living here. What the fuck? You can't fix that, bro? That shit just take a screw and a bracket. Probably cost $2. But these motherfuckers want to be exploiting this country, making it fucked up for people who born here. Nigga, I'm naturally from America. I ain't no fucking immigrant. My great-great-great-greats was born here. But they dictating and controlling these budgets and managing this shit and fucking this shit up, man. This shit ridiculous. I'm fed up because I'm really fed up because these motherfuckers hindering me on a whole nother scale. But then there's really some shit going on. This shit is crazy. This shit is crazy. And they only seem to hire Mexicans here. Then it's a guy who got a business that he could have drained this fucking pool in like an hour, and they had these people do the weirdest shit to drain this pool. And then of course they hired some Mexicans instead of the black guy who live here that they cool with, that they could have had him drain the pool quick. They had some motherfuckers drain it in 4 days. In a 4-day process, they drain half of it, then drain a little bit more, and all of this weird shit. Instead of hiring a big company who do this shit in a matter of a second. Just hire a big company who professionalizing this shit right here. But this shit is ridiculous, bro. This shit is ridiculous. This shit is fucking ridiculous, bro. This is America, man. I'm tired of living in this country, bro. If you white folks don't like black people so bad and you want to allow all these immigrants to come to America, give up one of these land masses that you dictating and controlling, because black people don't even run Africa no more, right? So we can't go to Africa. And if we do go to Africa, all you white people, Asians, Arabs, and all you motherfuckers get the fuck out. We don't want to be around you. We don't want to see you. You're not doing anything beneficial to black people. You're only stealing from black people. You're only stealing the diamonds coming out of Africa and selling them all over the world and getting yourself wealthy. You're not helping black people. So what the hell is you in Africa for? They don't need you in Africa. They don't have to conduct business that way. They don't even have to care about the shit you value. If they want to lay on their landmass and not fucking use it, so be it. If it's people on the landmass, don't come over here. We don't want you over here. So basically it comes to be that everybody needs to have guns and bombs and shit to defend their landmass from these intruders. So then they'll say you got weapons of mass destruction and paint a public opinion of you that fits their agenda for them to come over and bombing you and stealing your landmass. Instead of having the Chinese people that they ally with, why don't the Chinese people say you're not my fucking ally no more? You acting outside of human rights. You over here blowing people up, talking about weapons of mass destruction, but that fucking AK-47 y'all making every day in America is a weapon for mass destruction. Y'all got bombs in America. You motherfuckers in America dropped the atom bomb on fucking Hiroshima. So you got weapons of mass destruction. You don't have the authority to tell somebody else they can't have them, bitch. This is America, bro. I don't want to live in this country no more. But you know the funny part about that is they dictated and controlled the budget in most of these jobs where I got fired during COVID-19 about a fucking thermometer test. I was making $4,000 a month. You can go motherfucking look it up. You can subpoena them records. I guarantee you're going to see I was making $4,000 a month. I was never late and I never fucking missed a day. But they found a way to fire me while they kept some fucking Mexicans that probably had 19, 20, 30 points. Because I used to talk to people at that job who had hella fucking points that still had that job. And they were scared to get fired, but that nigga's still working there. But you fire a motherfucker with no points, never been late, motherfucking never missed a day. Talking about a thermometer test. And when they did this shit, they said, if you don't agree with some of the practices we got, we're going to give you 2 weeks off. And then you're going to be unpaid for 2 weeks, but we're going to just give you 2 weeks and all of this kind of shit. So when that thermometer test shit, I already had told the manager, I don't agree with this thermometer test. I feel like it's harming my body because you want to put that fucking laser on my third eye or my pituitary and pineal gland. I don't want no laser traveling that path on my fucking body. They scanned me for like 2 weeks putting it on my wrist, but they didn't want me working there. So then they want to come and say, oh, the way we was groomed to do this, you cannot have it on your motherfucking wrist. You got to have it on your forehead. But when I go to the dispensary and they test me every time I go to the dispensary, they test my wrist. No, don't nobody test your motherfucking forehead. So are they going to give you your job back based on that? If they not thermometer testing no more, are you going to give motherfuckers their job back? I would rather make $4,000 a month than unemployment. Unemployment have not gave me $4,000 a month since I've been on unemployment. So I would much rather have had my motherfucking income. I started excelling when I started making that money. These immigrants do not want motherfucking niggas in America or black people in America in a position that they cannot allow immigrants to come over here. If all of these buildings was filled with the black people that been murdered in America, these immigrants that's living in these apartments wouldn't be here. So they gonna keep killing you so they can keep bringing these motherfuckers over here and giving them the jobs like this guy. This nigga not even doing that swell of a job and he taking too fucking long for this. You hire a big company, they would have had all this shit done in a day. This dude been on this project for like 4 or 5 days. That shit don't take that long, bro. To drain this pool with a big ass truck takes like an hour. Then after that, you clean the motherfucker. That should take you very little time, especially if you hire a fucking company that do better than what he doing and not moving so fucking slow so he can keep siphoning money out of this fucking building. And the owner of this building, they say he's an Asian, right? So that code that connects with the fucking alliance between the white people, the Asians, and supposedly they say the Portuguese, but it's the Arab people, right? So it makes sense that why this Asian guy got this building so fucked up. He probably a racist, don't give a fuck about black people. He just got this shit fucked up into the moment that it transitioned where it's not as many blacks or they kick the black people out. I bet you this motherfucker, I'm gonna come back to this building. It's called Segovia Apartments. I'm gonna come back to this motherfucker and I'm gonna come record this shit when I'm out of here. I'm gonna record the demographic living in this bitch and I'm gonna record the conditions of the property. And I'm gonna go around going live later. Matter of fact, I'm gonna show you how this grass look. I already showed the grass and shit. So the grass and shit is fucked up, right? Yeah, my place is fucked up because this how I feel living here. I should walk around this fucking apartment and show you everything that was fucked up when I came here. Even like this little like shit like this on the floor. That's probably not something that you would say, oh, they need to fix that because that's probably a bigger issue. It's like, oh, you just got to deal with it. We gonna fix it whenever a tenant say we ain't moving in because of that shit. But my thing is this: it's about 100 things in here. Like, look at that water heater. You see how the space on that water heater right there, behind that water heater, it don't take nothing to at least fill that gap right there. The guy didn't put no compound or nothing right there to close that gap. It's roaches from these people all around me. When I moved in here, they had roaches. But then they tell you on Tuesday to call us about extermination. Why the fuck didn't you exterminate this place before I got here? Why am I seeing roaches in this motherfucker when I move in? You should have exterminated. Matter of fact, let me talk about this lady. This fucking Mexican chick, these motherfuckers thought it was so funny and thought it was a game that when I had to move in here, I had to move in this building because I had to move away from my wife and shit. So I had to move out real fast. So that's the only reason I came to this fucking building, because they move-in date was way closer than anybody else's. So when the day for me to move in, these people didn't have my keys. Or they acting like they got to look for the keys so hard, and the keys, it's like, why don't you have the keys? I work for a facility like this, bro, that do the job well. You put the keys. Yeah, we still live. We still live. Don't even trip. Because at the end of the day, I'm tired of this. Because let me tell you this. I had this YouTube account for like so many years, right? At one point, my YouTube account was monetized. But when I start looking at my fucking numbers that stipulated how I made money, and all of a sudden I clicked this setting inside of this Google shit because I was trying to I just didn't want to have to pay no taxes when I was done, right? So I clicked this setting inside of Google that said, oh, you can have the taxes taken out of your money ahead of time. So then we won't, basically when it hits your account, you got to pay no taxes. When I clicked that damn setting, these people started stealing my money. If I had $80 in there before I clicked that setting, the next month my shit said $79.56. Even if I made $0, they still took money out my account that I already had. How am I going to pay taxes on something that I never acquired? I never got no money. So what am I paying taxes on? They took money out of my account. They start doing that shit. And I still have the password to that Google AdSense. I'm going to go log in. And if they got my all-time transactions, I'm going to show you and prove what I'm talking about. And I'm going to show you how all of a sudden I made this money and then my shit stagnated. And then instead of me making any money, they start taking money out my account and shit, which did not make sense. I had to go to Google in Irvine to go try to get answers, and they didn't have no answers for me. They told me to send a postcard to Google AdSense because we don't have a way to communicate with that faction or that branch of Google. So you telling me you the head office of Google for Southern California, and you got this big ass building that got floors and floors and floors, and you don't have a Google AdSense floor up in here? You don't have one office dedicated simply to Google AdSense in your building? That you're deviating or you're sending people away from your facility, telling them to send a postcard in to address the issue that their money is not right as they're trying to attain financial freedom with some of the platforms that are designed for that. Just because if I make a grocery store, it don't mean that when I make the grocery store, I can dictate and govern who can come in here and purchase. Yeah, they talk about you got the right to refuse service. Who gives you that right? Who gives you that right when you done already took ownership from the people and appointed people to be owners of certain areas you want them to own? So what gives a person the right to refuse service? If a person has not done anything to you, right? The person just trying to acquire milk. It's kind of like black people wanting to go get a pie or go to a restaurant and they say you can't be here. That's their right to refuse service based on your race and discrimination. That seems like where the right to refuse service came from. So something going to dramatically change in America, because the reason you hear my energy is like what it is right now is because I got a Weebly account, right? I got a Weebly.com website. These people took the ads off my website or they placed ads back on my website when my website expired. I told my homeboy, I said, I bet you when I pay for this website, they're going to take the ads back off so I cannot make money. When they put the ads on there in the 2 days, I made $2.47 off people clicking on the ads on my site. It was only a few people, only a few, like it was like 6 clicks, got me $2.47. So if I get 1 million clicks, you already can do your own math, bro. So that's why they took the ads off my website. So I cannot work diligently to get people on my platform so that I can get those clicks. So this is essentially why I'm irate like this, because I paid for this earlier and I almost knew what I saw was going to happen. And as soon as I paid for it and my website was back online, there was no ads. So I guess what I should have did was when they put the ads back for the 2 day, I should have paid right when I saw the ads showing up. I don't know. But why did they ever take my ads off? Because I could show you right now, they gave me some type of policy strike or some policy violation that I didn't even violate. They said I had nudity on my website and I did not have any nudity on there. And that's when that's why they took my ads off, right? I had to go through my whole website looking at every single thing on my site, on every page, to make sure there's no nudity. When I validated that, I went to the policy center for them to review it. It's like they didn't even review it, bro. As soon as I hit review, it was pretty much the process was over with. Like, oh, we know there's no nudity on the site. So when I got the verification about that, my ads are still not showing up. Then it's saying something like it could take a week or something for everything to show back up. So when I see the ads on my site, when it went down, I said, maybe that's close to the week or a week and a half when they talk about it's going to show up. So I said, okay, now I'm going to pay for my site and I can diligently put my effort in to get rich, right? This is America, though, where the president and all of these governing officials care about bringing immigrants to America. Like they can't survive in Mexico or in Pakistan or where they coming from. I don't care if you're an African immigrant at this point. I ain't no immigrant. You could call me black and tell me I'm an indoctrinated idiot. And you could tell me I came off a slave ship with you crackers. I don't believe you. Noble Drew Ali already validated black people are native to America and our title was Moor and not black. Just like when you watch Othello with Lawrence Fishburne, you watch the movie Black Knight with Martin, they calling them Moors. So there's no coincidence they're being called Moors. Black people are called Moors, and we're going to get our nationality and identity back, and we're going to claim ownership of everything that has been stolen. And it's probably the whole world, but we're going to claim America, and we're claiming Africa. That's ours. That's us landing on the moon. We're putting our flag in the moon, and it's ours. We're claiming it. Understand that. So once this become a hive mind, there's going to be no more Mandelas for you to let out of jail to tell the people not to go to war. That's dead. It's over with. Mandela's dead. So there's no more Mandelas for you to get let out of jail to stop the people from doing what they should do to gain liberation. Liberation 2020. Black people or Moors or the Africans in Africa should be controlling the diamond trade coming out of Africa. That's going all over the world, getting people married and got all these women feeling all happy and glorious. But you don't have no sensibility about accountability and righteousness, because if you did, when you're watching First 48, that's talking about accountability in your face, you don't hold the people accountable who probably murdered millions of people to get in a position that they can control the diamond trade. There's no statute of limitation on murder. No statute of limitation on murder. Emmett Till, the lady who supposedly said Emmett Till whistled at her, just recently said he didn't whistle at her. And catcalling is not a death sentence. So we need to have that reconciled. We want reparations for Emmett Till's death, because that's one death that we know by name that has not been accounted for. Then we want reconciliation for Martin Luther King's murder and Malcolm X's murder and whoever else that was, oh, Fred Hammond, Huey P, like all of the people who did not harm anyone else. We're not knowing Fred Hammond for being a murderer or a drug dealer. We don't know these people for being criminals. Only Malcolm X, they say, was a pimp before he became a freedom fighter. So why you kill Martin Luther King? Why you kill Fred Hammond? Even though the Black Panthers had guns, I never heard Huey P. Newton was a murderer. I never heard he was a drug dealer. I heard Black Panthers used to do after school feeding programs for the kids because they didn't feed the black kids in school. So they created this program for this to feed kids. And supposedly that's where America designed the program. That's where the lineage of what people say. So it's just crazy that I'm not in Mexico. Why am I seeing so many Mexicans? This ain't Mexico. Why am I seeing so many Europeans? This ain't Europe. Why do I see so many Arabs? This is not Pakistan or Iraq or no shit. Why am I even seeing Africans in America? Like, this is not Africa. Everybody go home. Go home, maintain your own landmass, and don't come back. If you don't got enough space for your population, start building up like the Jetsons. Start living in the sky, and you got people on the sky and people on the ground, but get out of America. We don't need racists over here. We don't need no goddamn Joe Biden who got $4 million homes, and we got Americans out here paying rent. Sell them goddamn houses, go get you a $200,000 house, and why don't you start buying Americans' homes then, Joe Biden? You got $10 million worth of homes. You can sell those homes and move to places that got houses for $50,000 and go buy you a $50,000 house and go buy a gang of American houses. Why haven't you did no shit like that? Why have America not used the budget for profit? Yeah, you can see me now. I don't even want to be famous, but you know what? This seeing my face might make this video go way further. So I'm gonna put my face right here, bro, because I'm gonna say like this. I should have been rich. I was on YouTube monetized before Snoop Dogg had a monetized YouTube channel. I had a website monetized before Snoop Dogg went to a platform to try to monetize a website. I've been in this space. I've been made money on YouTube. Like I said, they messed with my money and I moved. I deviated from YouTube because I saw the corruption. But Google bought YouTube, so Google AdSense is corrupted. And one day when I logged into my platform at Weebly, they made me do some Google like verification login shit. I'm like, why the fuck do I need to do that? So evidently Google must have bought Weebly. So now with that whole chain, when YouTube was playing with my money and Google's playing with my money and Weebly's not showing the ads on my site. So they're all connected, right? Because why are the ads not showing through Weebly's platform? Because I have no restrictions anywhere else. But like I said, I made $2.47 in the last couple of days off of 6 clicks. My money stagnated at $9.55 for years. And then when I logged in my account, they put a penny in my account the moment I logged in. Like they see my awareness. Like maybe I didn't log in for a while because after I seen what they did for 2-3 months, and my money stopped at $9.55, I just like kind of was fed up and I was dealing with too much. I had a house that caught on fire. I got an ungrateful wife that wasn't helping me get where we were supposed to be trying to go. I had a lot of shit going on. So then I stopped even paying attention to it all around completely because I'm working now 12-hour shifts. I'm still dealing with this fucking wife. I'm still dealing with the fact that we got this house that we got to worry about and a contractor now and all of this kind of stuff. So it's like you're dealing with a whole lot, but then in the back of your head, it's like I want to use my platform to make money, but then I'm being hindered. Because this platform, if I can get 10,000 real fast, then that could solve a lot of these problems. If I can get 40,000 real quick with my platform, that is potentially, it's a great potential to make it. Because the black guy that they killed, called Q from WorldStar, that guy did interviews saying, I'm not selling my platform to these people. They offer me 15 million, I'm not selling. They offer me 40 million, I'm not selling. Why would a man not want to sell his platform for 15 or 40 million? Because the man made 25 million within a year. What the hell do I want to sell you my platform for 15 million more than I already made, or sell you my platform for 10 million than I made? That don't make no damn sense. If I could make 25 million in a year, I could do it again or probably make more than that. So what the hell am I going to sell you my platform for? When that guy was doing these interviews, that man was dead not too long later, talking about he died of a heart attack. And just because he was a fat guy, we're supposed to believe that. But then if Bam Margera's dad or stepdad is still alive, that big fat nasty body motherfucker, then that says to me that you have no validation in saying because Q was a fat guy, that's why he died of a heart attack. And we can go with his age, and Bam Margera's dad was at least 20, 30 years older than Q from World Star. So being fat don't mean you're gonna automatically have a heart attack. I see fat people all the time. My mama big shit. My mama ain't had no motherfucking heart attack at the age that Q from World Star did. So what, Q from World Star, he was drinking a gang of sodas or something? What the fuck was he doing different than people in this regular world? Though he was going to Jack in the Box way more than other people. He was smoking way more cigarettes. What? He had a heart attack though. Coronary heart disease is one of the main killers in America. If you spell the word coronary, the word corona is in there. So maybe Q drank a lot of alcohol and didn't drink a lot of water, right? Because since Corona been going on, alcohol probably skyrocketed in sales. And I've talked to people personally who said they drunk more alcohol during Corona than they ever did. I personally been like that. I started buying fucking the fucking $25 gallon bottles, and I'm buying margarita mixes and shit now. Drinking it I'm drinking way different than I ever did. But coronary heart disease, coronary artery failure, both have the word corona in them, right? So you look up the leading cause for some of that, I bet you alcohol is probably the primary cause. So this government don't give a damn about you. All they care about is exploiting your intellect and keeping you ignorant to the theft of ownership that the government has implemented on the people. When they say we the people pay rent and mortgages. Them on the other side, they own everything they touch without good reason, because you're not the real organizers, because you stole civilization from another group of people. So you're sitting in the seat as politicians as the organizers. Or even if you're not the organizers, like you're the collector of public opinion and states of mind, what means that a person who collects states of mind to accumulate those states of mind to create regulations to mandate mankind says that the regulator becomes a person who has more money than the state of mind? All states of mind are equal. All states of mind have ownership. Joe Biden has a state of mind. His state of mind is not more important, and his desire for a life of luxury is not more important than any other person's. So I already followed Joe Budden's timeline. Joe Biden, Joe Biden, he's a hater though. I'm calling him Joe Budden because Migos said, if you see a hater, call him Joe Budden. So that's why I'm calling Joe Biden Joe Budden, because Joe Biden said that black people are predators. And not in so many words, he said America created predators. And instead of America rehabilitating those predators, America's desire is to get those predators out of society. But America knows they created the predator, but America does not desire to rehabilitate the predator, which is fixing their mind and their understanding and their aim and direction for where they're trying to go in life. So if you're a gangbanger who only want to sell drugs, sell your grandma crack, and kill your own people, we're going to use the budget to change your mind. We're going to, like when you take a kid on a field trip, like if you take a kid from the ghetto on a field trip to somewhere they never been and they experience something that they never thought they would experience, and then they change a little bit, same type of thing. Or if they gain a little understanding or something from that, same type of experience. You take grown people who've been killing each other and stuff all of the time, you take them on field trips to Dubai that y'all always talk about, or these places y'all go where you pay $199,000 for a first class ticket, one-way flight, when that $199,000 first class flight is a house in some areas. It's 7 houses in some areas. Who created the dynamic where a first class one way ticket costs 199,000? And who created it that this guy can afford that? And then when you look at shows like the super real estate people, those people in these kind of shows, they are just like anybody else. They have to get accepted for an opportunity. So you fill out an application or something, and then somebody say, yes, you can have the job. We're going to interview 100 people. We're going to give it to you. That is the position black people are in. Their whole fucking life is being subject to white people's exception for opportunity. That's what affirmative action was all about. White people seizing black people's opportunity to gain ownership in America, and not simply just gain ownership, but to sustain a healthy lifestyle. Because if you don't make money, how are you going to buy food? How are you going to move around? How are you going to go on vacation? How are you going to travel to foreign lands and have babies with they fucking women while they over here having babies with your women? This is reality rap. They don't want to talk about this shit. Cassidy, you a bitch, nigga. Because Cassidy act like he on some reality rap, right? And I already done got on his head, right? I sent him a DM and all of that. But he trying to talk like, he say, if you own your masters, you ain't gotta work so hard and something like that. But then he don't own his masters. But Nipsey own his masters and Nipsey dead. So maybe that's why Cassidy alive, because you ain't own your masters and you want to serve your master. You don't want your master serving you. The concept of owning your master is the master owned you, so now you own your master. So they don't want the slaves to revolt and rebel and gain liberation to a degree that you could own your master, and not conceptually like you're whipping them and all of that. But now you have made so much money and rose above this guy economically where now he serves you. So that is the problem. Nipsey Hussle, when he owned his master, that's basically saying that the record label was serving him. They're working more for him than he's working for them, because he probably just got a distribution deal and he retaining most of the income. So therefore, you're my servant. You're serving my cause. I'm not serving your agenda to make you a gang of money. You're serving my agenda for me to make a gang of money. So these people are sellouts, bro. Cassidy, Louis Farrakhan, whoever you can name. The only person I would say in a sellout right now is Taj Tariq Bey. There's a guy named Taj Tariq Bey, and I hope this don't get him murdered because I'm bringing awareness to his intellect. But this guy is highly versed in law, and he is highly versed in uniform commercial code and things like that. When people talk about straw man and sovereignty and all of this stuff, this guy knows exactly what he's talking about. He's way more intelligent about this stuff than me. And maybe me and this guy are going to have to come together, because birds of a feather flock together. And we're going to migrate to get this goal accomplished. But at the end of the day, I done talked to Professor Griff on the phone. This guy who says this dude was in public, public enemy. This dude was in public enemy with Chuck D and Flavor Flav, and they kicked him out because he was the guy who was politically incorrect, according to America. They don't want you saying things that's outside of the status quo. That's what Professor Griff does. He don't say what America want him to say. He say how he feel according to what's going on in his life. So if somebody feel like they being oppressed, that's how I feel based on my experience. You can't tell me what to say. If I want to say I'm oppressed, I'm oppressed. What's the problem? Deal with it. Deal with the truth. If it's a lie, then let people gather for public opinion and call it a lie. It's not your job to censor somebody's opinion to then control public opinion. Because if if you got 1 billion people in the world, right, and then 800 million of those people say this is what we want, the 200 million people, they're going to have to be subject to the rules and the requirements of the 800 million. And essentially that's what's going on in America. 66% dictates and governs 33%. But a constitutional republic said that 99% cannot dictate and govern 1%. But of course, they changed these philosophies. They changed definitions, like Webster changed the definition to the word nigger in like 2008 to put that black people are niggers. He put that black people are a race or denomination of people were that but the definition was a lack of knowledge prior to that, or being ignorant. So yeah, I'm almost off of this shit, but my whole point is I've been stagnated, bro. I've been stagnated. You study the etymology of the word slave. The word etymology is Slav, right? And it comes from the Slavic people, Yugoslavians, these barbaric people who used to go to people's landmass and try to steal, and they would never succeed. And then they would get overthrown and they would have to be basically working in society because the people that's there is not, they don't care to kill you. They don't even want to see you. They don't even want you in their society, but they not murderers. So we're not going to kill you. You can stay alive, but you're going to have to do something because you came over here trying to hurt us. You're going to have to work now. So that's where the slave come from. But the word slave now is Slavi, right? And it's a Slavi because the E represents a stagnated economy, like the motion in the ocean. Imagine if the ocean, how the ocean is, right? The ocean almost never stops moving. Even when it looks still, it never stops moving because you got so much stuff in the water moving down there that it never stops moving. So imagine if somebody stopped the ocean. That probably would kill everything in the ocean. If you seized all potentiality of movement in the ocean, everything in the ocean would die. Because if you did that, then the things in the ocean probably would not be able to move because they need potential and kinetic energy. You can't probably just use kinetic energy in life. You have to have potential and kinetic energy. So if you eliminate somebody's potential energy, then they don't have the potential to gain or to move. So that's a Slavi, a stagnated economy. I did more research in it than I can explain it better. If I'd have kept my research in my mind about the ocean portion of that, it really is explainable. Like, bro, it's so much stuff I used to be like, bro, I wish I had this all to just pull back, bro. It's so much information out here that tells you what these people are doing. Study public relations, bro. Study public relations. Go to the history of public relations. You're going to understand the government is working diligently to control your mind and conform your actions into what they want you to do. They want you to think how they want you to think. I don't believe Eric Holder killed Nipsey Hussle. And if he did, I believe he was sent by these people. Just like Conrad Murphy said, they say he murdered Michael Jackson. They put him in Camp Snoopy for 2 years and let him out. No, everybody forgot about him. Camp Snoopy, they say this is this great prison type of atmosphere where you're not even really incarcerated. You just damn near living in a townhome complex. You just can't leave the townhomes. You got to stay in the townhome all day. You got a PlayStation. You got everything you would normally have, and then you got to get Uber Eats or you got to get what's that other crap they be having? Shopping cart or whatever it's called where they go shop for you. Oh, you in this townhome area, but you can still just get people to deliver stuff to you. You just can't never leave the gate. Well, I don't care. I've been in the house for many a days. I didn't care to be outside. If that's how I got to live versus being in prison, that's great. So Eric Holder probably in Camp Snoopy. If he even is incarcerated, we don't see Eric Holder every day. How many of you people that could ever watch this have ever seen Eric Holder in person? You don't know where that man at. You don't know if he dead already. You don't know if he really in jail. You don't know if he in a bed at home spending some money for killing Nipsey. You don't know shit about Eric Holder. You don't know shit about shit. Right now they could kill me and put a fucking article on it in a public eye and say, oh, this guy did whatever. You don't know shit about me. You gonna just say, oh, that's what the fuck he did. Come on, bro. You people ridiculous though, bro. Black Liberation Movement. And I'm not gonna say Black Liberation Movement no more. Moorish Liberation Movement. Right? Go to the Black's Law Dictionary. You'll see liberation movement in there and you'll understand what I'm talking about. And now I'm about to look up the word Moor, because if they have a Moor classified in this law dictionary, that's going to further stipulate how we're going to gain liberation. But Moorish Liberation 2021, we are going to get a bicommunal bizonal federation in America because it's going to be too much war to try to take this whole landmass. So to seize the desire to have war, you white people need to go to the East Coast or to the West Coast. We're going to split this landmass in half. And it could be all black people over here and all you whites and immigrants on the other side. We don't need to see you. We don't need to do commerce with you. We can have a self-sustaining organism. We can create products on our own landmass that we don't have to do business with other people. You can make your own cell phone. I don't need to sell my cell phone to Europe to make no profit. I can sell it to the people that's in my community. Ice Cube had a theory about this. He said you don't need to go worldwide with your music. It's enough people in LA for you to go be a millionaire with LA alone. So the people in LA could take care of themselves. They don't need Capitol Records. Ice Cube know this. He a sellout though. This the funny part though. With all of these self-righteous people in this world, look how old Joe Biden is, bro. This man is almost on his deathbed, and he still cares to implement evil in the world. He has lived a full life of luxury, damn near. Like Donald Trump's son, right? Donald Trump's son probably ain't never wanted for nothing in his life, but he's still probably out here calling people niggers. He's still out here probably spewing hatred. He have not done nothing that you would declare truly righteous, because money goes a long way. Numbers don't lie. Do I need to do the simple numbers that validate these people are evil and they're fucking your life up? Immigrants don't care. If you come from somewhere that you was making 10 cents a week and you come somewhere now you can make $900 a week, you have went from hell to heaven. You will never complain in your new predicament. Black people could never feel that way because we've never been in a position other than minimum wage going from this to that. We still was compensated better than most people on a lot of these other land masses. So at the end of the day, I don't know about not being paid or being paid $0. I mean, it probably was a point I'm getting $5.75 or some shit, but that ain't $0. And then people still want to come over here to my landmass when I'm getting $5.75. They want to come where I'm from. But at the end of the day, I would be wealthier. I would be in a better position. I would be a scientist or something, because at one point years ago, I desired to be a scientist. I used to stay in Long Beach by Cal State Long Beach. I used to see that they was advertising for people to be scientists, but I already had a desire for that. So then it really started to enhance. But it's like, you can't just go to Cal State Long Beach. You need to have money to go there, or you need to have a scholarship. But when I went to high school, it was fucking grown ass immigrants outside of my school harassing the kids and killing people and beating people up. And it was a police department right down the street full of immigrants that do not give a fuck about those black kids at that school. So they allowed those people outside of that school to do that shit every day. I'm not bullshitting. Go look up Cabrillo High School in Long Beach. Start asking all of the black kids that went to the school that graduated by 2002. Ask anybody who graduated from Cabrillo around 2002 that's black. Well, did you ever have a race riot at your school? Yeah, probably 3 or 4. Were there days that you was talking to your friends that you was never fighting your friends that's black? Y'all never had problems with each other. But when you talk to your or talk to your other guys about what's going on, it's like, hey, the Mexicans, they beat up Jaron when he went to go get some food from Jack in the Box with his off-campus lunch pass and shit. It's like, this dude is a kid. He just going to the fucking go get something to eat because he don't want to eat the lunch food. What are you beating up this kid for? Now that kid is not able to focus on getting straight A's. When Jaron get out of the hospital, Jaron now is concerned about a whole gang of other stuff, and his safety is a priority. So your safety becomes the main priority in that situation, like fight or flight. If a crocodile was to bite an impala, that impala is trying to survive versus eat grass or all of the stuff he was supposed to be focused on. Now he focused on survival. That is the condition of the black kids in the black neighborhood. They focus on survival more than the things that they should be focused on. America don't give a fuck because these white people, they just want to live good. And they should do this shit at your expense. It's not a population in America that's 85% black people. And if it is, look at the city hall. Who is in that city hall? Who is the mayor? Who is the city attorney? The city officials, or what they call them, I forgot what they call them, or it's city council. You got your city attorney, you got your city council. And this another thing. This how you know that these people acting as if they are native. Because when you get to certain positions, they always got chief this, chief that. When I used to hear about Native Americans, they used to have a chief. When they told you about natives, they said they had chiefs. So no wonder why they got the chief executive officer and the chief joint of staff and the chief this and the chief some other stuff at the city hall. They got a chief. I seen, but it's like they're acting like they're the natives to this landmass. So bicommunal bizonal federation is the desire. We never wanted civil rights in the first place. We wanted opportunity to live around ourselves and not have to deal with you. Even though what Martin Luther King saying is that if I do live in a city all around black people, if we meet in the middle, we shouldn't have a problem. If it's a city full of blacks on the right, it's a city full of whites on the left, and then you got another city in the middle of people, and everybody congregate there, you shouldn't have a problem seeing me. I shouldn't have a problem seeing you. We should be able to do business. Everybody eating the same restaurant, no problem. I don't believe Martin Luther King's desire was for black people to be assimilated into this burning house. I believe that was their desire. They're controlling the narrative. They're controlling the agenda. They're controlling what they're willing to allow you to have. They gave him what they wanted him to have. They gave black people what they wanted black people to have. The word civil basically says, I'm going to stop beating your ass rights. You got sympathy rights. We are now starting to feel empathetic for you, slave. So now, since we are empathetic, we are giving you empathy rights. That's what civil rights is, empathy rights. That is not God-given birthrights. That is not the rights that black people rightfully deserve. Birthrights mean you have your natural claim to the ownership of the landmass you're born on. Right? And now you got people like this battle rap dude called Disaster. This dude is like a Palestinian. This dude be over here saying the stupidest shit in battle rap, glorifying stupid shit in Pakistan. It's like, bro, if you want to keep talking all this Pakistan righteousness shit, get the fuck out of here, bro. But why are they calling this dude a LA native when he clearly not a native to Los Angeles? He wasn't even born in Los Angeles. To be saying he's a LA native, they call him a LA native battle rapper. He wasn't even born in America. So you understand that they play with these concepts, and when Nipsey Hussle died, nobody ever probably called Nipsey Hussle a native in his life. But when he died, they call him a LA native when they describing him in his death. Well, if I'm a native, that means that the LA Lakers, I should be getting some money for that because it's a gang of immigrants out here that pay for the Lakers. So since I'm native, these immigrants' money they spending for the Lakers, that shit should be hitting my pockets because that team represents my born status in this landmass. So that's why J-Rock, you look stupid as fuck, bitch. You over here promoting that goddamn stadium that they built in Inglewood. What the fuck do the people in Inglewood get from that? Because the Green Bay Packers, the people from that fucking area make money from that. Why is that not every other team in the world? Because that's how white people design it for themselves, to profit in the game. These people living good all around you, bro. These go to goddamn Idaho or Delaware. Or go to these places where it's all white motherfuckers. Look around. They living good all around you in every little single, LA, fucking Oakland, like Moreno Valley, these little small sections of blacks in all of these states. These people have made it where it's bullet riddled. Drug is just overwhelmed by drugs. You got fucking drug heads all over the place. You got filth all over the place. City Hall don't do a good job cleaning up the goddamn area. They don't do a good job employing the people. They don't do a good job of getting awareness out to the people of opportunity. Like, why do I need to go to City Hall to find out about a City Hall job? Why don't you put that shit all over the goddamn city? You're City Hall. So you run the city. So get the awareness for job opportunities to the people from the city. You should be working more diligent to do that. Everybody should have opportunity. And may the best win. And these job opportunities are not being distributed correctly. People should have to fight for jobs. Like literally, I'll beat your ass. Like I'll beat your ass for this opportunity because the opportunity should not lie in this person sitting in this chair just saying, I don't want you to the left, I want the guy to the right. For what reason? Based on what criteria? Based on what are you selecting this person over me? If a monkey could do it, then whoever applied first get it. There's you need to distinguish how you're selecting people with job opportunities. I mean, come on, is this not evident and understandable to people that people are being alienated from opportunities by who's controlling the opportunity ahead of them? So, but they try to act like this in America. This is the game they play. You got a 90-year-old man. They'll act like this 90-year-old man is in his position because before you was born, he did college and things that he handled business before you was born. But when we already have a slave owner, slave concept and mentality, that would lead me to believe that that 90-year-old man would just reap the benefits of slavery and people being ignorant to what he did before you came around. Like that man could have killed hundreds of people before I was born to get in that position. I don't know what he did. And he could have went to college, but that's a 50-50 kind of sword right there. Like, I don't know. And he could have did good. He could have did bad. But they use the fact that people are born before you. And of course, you should be under a guy because he was already in a position before you. Well, that's why. Yeah, but these people know what I'm talking about, bro. Mike Tyson spoke about this, talking about boxing should have been controlled by the government and taken over by the government because it's a lot of corruption in boxing, right? And racism and a gang of other stuff. The way that I have not seen an article yet that says Gervonta Davis has bought a $2 billion big black yacht, right? But I seen an article that said Canelo Alvarez did. But Canelo Alvarez he started boxing in America to gain wealth. But then it's a black guy who from America who ain't even got the wealth that he gained. And he boxing under, you got Canelo Alvarez boxing under Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar De La Hoya probably ain't documented as having as much money as Floyd Mayweather. So you got a guy who got way more money, way more marketability, and was still highly active after the other guy retired. So his awareness is probably way higher. But his fighter doesn't have that big black yacht, and Floyd Mayweather was buying that fighter cars and all of this kind of stuff. But then this Mexican fighter who come from another landmass, who should be boxing in Mexico and gaining ownership in Mexico. Like if Canelo Alvarez was boxing in Mexico, could he buy that yacht? How many boxers that's boxing in Mexico that have bought a yacht like that? Because that's the point of what I'm saying. They're exploiting America. They're exploiting the budget here. They're controlling. Like if I were a guy when I was 15, I was at the bus stop and some bus driver, he like, bro, you should be a boxer, your physique, this and that. He was like, my homie, I was in Long Beach. Homie said, oh, my partner runs William Boxing Gym. This guy might see this video. If it went somewhere, that guy could probably see that video and might remember what I'm talking about and tell you he said it. He told me, he said, you have this type of physique and certain stuff. He said, perfect for boxing. He said, my dude just got this boxing gym called Williams Boxing Gym. His son ended up being the guy that he was saying that he wanted me to be. He was saying that that guy needed a protege or somebody for the gym to push to try to get to be a heavy or a world-renowned boxer or a title holder. His son ended up being a title holder, and they had his son with his fist up as the logo on the store. But that guy probably asked me that before his son was at the age to do that. But if I would have known I had to be a boxer to gain ownership in America, or I had to play basketball or be a rapper, I would have focused on that shit. If that's what people got to do to gain ownership in this country, tell motherfuckers when they kids, go be Denzel Washington. Go be Snoop Dogg. Go be Floyd Mayweather. Don't focus on nothing else. Don't want a business. Don't do none of that. Just be an entertainer first. Then once you're an entertainer and you get millions of dollars, then start doing other shit. But clearly black people can't do other shit because all of these black millionaires don't seem to own shit. What do Floyd Mayweather, what the fuck is a TMT, the money team? That's not no real big ownership, bro. That's not like Pepsi. That's not a real company that you could that you're like more Floyd Mayweather say black people don't support my business. You don't have some chips that somebody could say, oh, I like these chips, I'm going to keep buying them. You got a fucking shirt, bro. Your fucking logo sucks. It's just a T, like that shit is not that nice. And it represents self. It represent you. It don't represent something that's a general, like that's not like the money team is not something that everybody relate to. So what the fuck do I need to wear that for if I don't relate to that? Why didn't you make a shirt called everybody can relate? Motherfucker, make some shit that like a regular shirt that have a general term on it that everybody can relate to. Then maybe you'll get more sales. Maybe black people will support you. Everybody's not on the money team. Everybody's not paid like you. And I don't work at a strip club. You had a Mexican nigga up in the club throwing money all crazy. He was supposed to be on the money team. They would say that every time he come to the strip club. Oh, the dude from the money team. You seem to be getting these immigrants wealth in America. And I bet you that guy own a house. Do Javante? I'm just talking about reality. Of course, Javante should own a house. But I'm just talking about it just be funny when you look at who owns and who don't own and what they own and the means of them gaining ownership. And it's like, why can't Ludacris own Conjure without being connected to some other entity? You're telling me he is not smart enough to get on YouTube and look up how to create alcohol? You telling me that Ludacris don't know how to go to a construction company and tell them that he want to build a warehouse? You telling me that Ludacris can't go to a warehouse that's already built, that probably got shut down, that used to produce alcohol, go buy it and begin to produce alcohol on his own and retain 100% ownership of his corporation? Every black person that ever did business has to go under some Caucasian faction. Like P. Diddy and Ciroc. He don't own a Ciroc 100%. Everything 50 Cent promote, he don't own none of that shit. Frigo and all of the champagne, 50 Cent don't own none of that shit. Even his vitamin water deal where they talking about he made 400 million. He didn't own 100% of that vitamin water shit. Even Dr. Dre with his Dre Beats, he didn't own 100% of that shit. So it comes to be that not a black person in this country can own 100% of anything, but all white people everywhere can own 100% of a gang of shit. We're to the point that Magic Johnson been around and known as a businessman all this time. But Elon Musk is some motherfucker you just heard about that they saying he got 72 billion. Magic Johnson only got like 1 billion documented. You mean to tell me Magic Johnson is not intelligent enough to do some of the shit that Elon Musk did? You mean to tell me Kevin Cohey, a nigga who owned First Capital Bank, whatever that supposed to be, Black Bank is? You mean to tell me Kevin Cohey, a guy who Peyton Manning on a commercial with for State Farm, that this guy who Peyton Manning saying that he's an expert in finance, he is not able to devise something that would generate income to that capacity? You're running a fucking bank. You have knowledge on a whole nother scale. Have Elon Musk ever run a fucking bank? They talking about Tesla made him rich. How? How did he get rich off of Tesla? How? Is he the manufacturer of the car? How does one become sole manufacturer of a fucking car like Tesla? How are you sole manufacturer? One person get credit for making a whole fleet of cars. Like Henry Ford taking credit for the assembly machine or the assembly line, taking credit for cars damn near. This is ridiculous, bro. Just get out of my way, my nigga. I don't want to be around you. I don't want to see you. I can navigate the world and see you, and I don't want to talk to you. I can see you. I don't want to communicate with you people. I don't like you. I don't give a fuck. You made me like this. I was a happy kid playing freeze tag, and America called me a nigger. That's just the truth about it. I didn't never ask to be called a nigger. I never asked to hear what the fuck that word was and what it meant to some white motherfucker with a stupid ass ideology. I never asked to hear that motherfucker's ideology. I never asked that white man to tell me what a nigger was to him. Joe Biden never seemed to care about me when I was a kid, not wanting to be called a nigger or hearing that shit. So why the fuck do I want Joe Biden anywhere close to running my life? I'm grown now. I'm not no kid no more. My understanding has changed. This shit is about to change too. They only gave Barack Obama that position acting like a black was the president because they want to act like you're not assimilated, that you're or you're integrated and you're incorporated. They don't want to make it seem like you're assimilated, right? But you're not incorporated in America because incorporated means that you're dictating the GDP. So when Barack Obama is the president, he is now in control of the GDP along with all of these other people. Now, just like City Hall, city attorney, he makes decisions about the GDP, but city council really have the say so. So Barack Obama, he is ahead of this shit as, oh, I'm running the GDP, but everybody else have the say so. So he cannot use the GDP for black people's benefit. So Liberation says that the $21.14 trillion GDP that America has, Liberation says black people will be dictating and governing half of that GDP. We do not want you to try to give us some broken down, we're going to give you half of the GDP broken down into every individual black person still alive as a form of reparation for the reconciling the past. So that's essentially what Kamala Harris is offering black people, $100,000 for reparations. That essentially is the half of the American GDP broken down into 50 million people. I mean, you go up and higher, then it's like really 120 million people at 120 million people broken down with the GDP. Half of the GDP is $100,000 or some shit like that, right? So when you break it down like that, you understand these people is trying to say that basically they're giving you control of half of the GDP. You don't want your GDP like that. We want to appoint people to control that GDP as a unit. We don't want individual wealth, and that's not wealth. We want to retain that GDP and keep it at 11.4 or 11 point whatever, right? Then we want to use it as a unit to do things on a world stage and create a sustainable society. We don't want your $100,000. I don't want your shit. I ain't signing up, bitch. That's the only reason Kamala Harris is the vice president, because she already spoke about getting $100,000 reparation. So now you can tell that that's what they're going to carry out. They're going to get this bitch in presidency already. Then about January, February, you about to start hearing about reparations for all of these motherfucking desperate motherfuckers. And Dave Chappelle already showed you about this. He showed you when the government gave reparations, he basically said, nigga, Cadillac is about to have a gang of money and all of these places going to get money overnight. But black people get nothing out of it. You just got a car and shit. That's why they don't want to give you $1 million reparation, right? Because $1 million gains ownership. 100,000 don't. I don't live in buttfuck Idaho where I can pay $50,000 for a house. I live in California. Ain't no houses out here 50,000 unless that bitch is a fucking burned up shack or a house that got burned up in a fire that they didn't have insurance and that motherfucker just sitting there because the bank don't want to do shit until they get another loan on it and then fix it up and shit. I don't give a fuck, nigga. I might sound like I'm ranting, but I'm fed the fuck up. These fucking crackers is hindering me from making money. They on my fucking platform. They took the ads off my fucking website, bruh. I told my partner the other day, I told the nigga, they put my fucking ads on my site when my website expired. I said, I bet you they take these motherfuckers back off when I pay for it. And lo and behold, I pay for the shit, they take my ads off because they don't want me to fucking make money. These crackers is still in America to this day. They done had a 500-year head start and they still ain't far ahead of us, bro. I see white people dirty as fuck every day. I see white people that's not doing that good every day. I just was talking to some white people on a video game. I'm clowning about Nipsey, but it's like, how many of you white motherfuckers been in the V12 with racks in the middle? None of you motherfuckers. So you jealous, you're mad. You don't want a nigga to gain shit. And this nigga's out here getting more than you motherfuckers and they got no responsibility according to America. A rap nigga do not have to do shit that a politician have to do in terms of being an organizer, right? So the politician's jealous because the rapper have no responsibility. Down the nigga who work at Chili's is jealous because the rapper got a Lambo and he living a life of luxury. All of the broke motherfucking white folks is jealous. And then you got the rich people who have to do a real job. They're jealous. Because even inside of assimilating in America, that rap shit, that's a great area for black people to be in America, especially if you control all of the money. Because we have no responsibility in this country. We don't have to do shit. If you a rapper that get a gang of money, you don't got to work at Chili's. You don't got to go to no motherfucking restaurant, do no job. You don't got to work in no warehouse. You don't got to work nowhere. And when you a rapper that's made a gang of money, you don't have to be doing what the politicians is doing. You ain't running for president and focusing on healthcare and all that shit. You just got money. You got a big ass house, nice ass shit, and you just live your life out. They don't like that. They hating on niggas. Even like Kobe, I feel like they killed Kobe, right? Because Kobe is a fucking living legend. They jealous, nigga. The people who paid Kobe never will get revered like Kobe. When Kobe walk in Starbucks, you could put a zillionaire white man who paid Kobe right next to Kobe in that Starbucks. Nobody gonna acknowledge that white nigga. Everybody gonna be trying to stroke Kobe's cock and shit. That's why they killed this man. They don't want no living legend. This nigga's only 40 years old, fucking living legend. He gonna live for 40 more years, and everybody gonna love him, and he gonna love his life, and he gonna be rich as fuck, and he gonna just be, you know what I mean? That's hater shit. I'm pretty sure that nigga helicopter could be hacked, bro. If you got a fucking new helicopter you in, that shit is like a Lambo. It could be hacked. They hacked the nigga helicopter, killed this nigga, man. And they talking about Kobe was connected to some pharmaceutical shit about the word Black Mamba or some pills or some shit. They talking about that's why they killed the nigga, because some pharmaceutical shit. He was going to win some lawsuit that he was going to retain a whole gang of ownership of that company where they didn't want that. So if we see some Black Mamba pills or some shit coming out, then we going to know something, bro. Even if it's a high performance pill from GNC type shit. If you see some shit that got Kobe on it about some motherfucking performance pills or something, that's why they killed that nigga. Because when they killed him, how come when people die, it ain't just that, oh, he dead. When Paul Walker died, the white nigga from Fast and Furious, why is there a backstory about Route 66? And that it's people that own houses on Route 66, but the government got a different agenda. So they trying to use eminent domain to take these people's houses. And Paul Walker knew about it and was trying to help the people keep their fucking houses on Route 66. I heard that when Paul Walker died, because I look into people's shit when they die. I know the government is fucked up. You can't talk about Bill Cosby to me and I'm gonna ridicule my motherfucking people that I revere, my ancestors and shit. Nigga, I'm gonna look into why America ridiculing this man. And I know goddamn Bill Cosby ain't do shit. And even if he did, you crackers been raping America for years. Who gives a fuck? Fuck them white hoes. Bitch, you should have been told about it. You done told about some shit past the statute of limitation for rape. How you gonna charge a nigga when you just already told us that everything you charging them for is past the statute of limitation? But since it's not a limitation on murder, we want to charge America with all of the murders of the black people that got white people in the position they in today. There's no statute of limitation on murder. So if you can put a black nigga in jail for some rape shit that's past the statute of limitation, you definitely can reconcile the past and relinquish the ownership stronghold you got in America for motherfucking all of the murders of the black people that got you in this position. I don't care if it was one slave. All you need is one motherfucking person to stipulate that that's why you in this position. And I looked up the first court case one time. The first court case was a black guy being charged for running from a plantation. They charged this dude with lifetime servitude. But when you look it up now, they be trying to hide shit. But that's the type of shit you use in law to gain liberation. You go to court, you use that as evidence to say, why do I want liberation? We as black people want liberation. So then we on the world stage, if you're looking at the world stage as a courthouse, then you will use shit as evidence to why the fuck do you need liberation? How are you oppressed over here? When white people ran from Europe and seek liberation at black people and Native Americans' expense, right, or African and Native American expense, they fled from their own people to seek liberation from being oppressed. They really never presented enough evidence to say how they were oppressed and why they needed liberation. They said some shit about taxes or whatever. Fuck all that. This is bigger than taxes, what niggas going through. But I'm about to end this video. This shit over with. Like, this shit, like, it's gonna get some views. But If this shit got 1 billion views, I bet you this, public opinion would be on my side because I talk like this to white people on the game all day long and they never truly disagree with me. It's always like a 50-50 split. Half of the white people, or really it's not a 50-50 split. It'd be like half the white people just don't want to hear it. And then the other half, they be in agreement. They still don't want to hear it, but half of them motherfuckers be in agreement and don't take no offense to none of the shit I'm saying. They take no offense. And the other people, they not really offended. They just don't want to hear the shit because they want to say nigger and let that be the end of the discussion. They want to call you on this game that I'll be playing, America's Army Proving Grounds. Get on this motherfucker and wait till somebody aggravate one of them crackers and then tell me if they don't nigger out the lobby. That's the only reason I end up getting a microphone, because I used to hear black people in the lobby that would allow these white people to nigger out the lobbies, and then they would still have their mic on and be saying shit, you know, in between time, but they would never say nothing to the white nigga that's niggering out the lobby. They wouldn't say shit to him. They let him just think he was some almighty, all-powerful white man who could say what he wanted and think people give a fuck. So then when I come around, I bet you this nigga Montana 300 or Montana, whatever his name was on this game, Montana 300, I think it was. This dude don't even play the game no more, bro. If he still play the game, that dude changed his name because of me. These people cannot deal with the truth. They don't want to face it. Redlining, the reason that, you know, Avia Beach is 80%, 85% white, that's redlining. And really they built, like, you know, when you talk about Native Americans, how they said that the white people used to build that what they call that shit, like a corral or a carousel. They used to caravan or whatever they call that shit, where they would put all of their stagecoaches in a circle to fight to combat the Indians and shit. They said that was the way that they won because they did that. If you pay attention to every ghetto in America, that motherfucker is essentially stagecoached by a gang of Caucasian cities. Every single black, predominantly black area is stagecoached by a gang of Caucasian cities. So essentially, like, if you ever want to revolt and rebel, all of those people that be going to these fucking warehouses that they be having where they be just buying guns without fucking no registration and shit. All these people be having guns that's not even registered and shit in their house. They could kill at any point. So no wonder why Chicago like that, because any white motherfucker that come from Eaglewood or some shit, they can drive down to Chicago, murder some niggas with a gun that's not even registered, and then go back to Eaglewood and keep getting their rocks off. And since this shit been going on in Chicago, people start developing theories that white people are doing the killing. And white people are wearing black suits. And they started having black suits circulating on Facebook. Like 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, at the height of this shit, when drill music and shit was popping, at some point it was so many deaths that black people developed a theory that white people doing this in black suits. And then they started to show the black suits for sale. Like you started being promotions on Facebook about these black suits for sale when black people developed the theory.